I feel like I need to talk about it again because there are a lot of people, especially coming into my life, that are lacking in understanding, and the primary reason is because they don't listen to themselves. They don't listen, and if you don't listen to yourself, which is going to be the theme of this live, if you don't listen to yourself, then 9 times out of 10 you're not going to listen to any other thing in your life that's good for you. And I say that because I look at how many people are just ignorant of themselves. Like they're ignorant. They ignore their bodies. They ignore that inner voice inside of them. They ignore their intuition, and then be out here crying and complaining about why things are going their way. They think that because things are going their way that life is not good for them, or they think that they're not supposed to be in that situation and so on. I'm like, you're always everywhere you're supposed to be, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the circumstance is. You're always exactly where you're supposed. And this can vary based off of your ability to listen. Listening comes hand in hand with perception. I have notes here, so I'm just going to read some of the notes that I wrote so I can stay on topic. First and foremost, you need to listen to yourself. Why do you need to listen to yourself? Everything that you need is already inside of you. Every thought that you have is not for no reason, whether it's perceived negative or perceived positive. Every thought you have is designed to attune your body and to attune your mind and to attune your frequencies to that which you need, not just the things that you want. The things that you want come when you focus on the things that you need. However, the phrase I wrote down here is that we want to buy the fruits, we want to eat the fruits, but we don't want to understand how the tree grows. We don't want to understand how the fruit comes about, how the fruit comes to be. We just want the fruit, not knowing that the fruit is a product of the tree, and the tree is a product of the seed. And the seed has to grow. It has to go through changes. It has to go through the weather, all the seasons. It has to experience drought. It has to experience your fruit is going to here. We have to start building trust within ourselves. We trust and listen to every single motherfucker out here except for ourselves. We'll go to the doctor and listen to what the doctor say. We'll go to school. It shows people out here are crying. And people out here, religion or spiritual beliefs, your following could be trying to tell you that else. That we think those ideas that come into our head, we rather focus on the bullshit. We rather focus on how we feel about something rather than why we feel that way about something and other people in the world. But you're applying it to yourself because self hears it before anybody. Self. If you don't trust yourself, then what do you have? What do you have in this world? If you can't trust or depend on yourself, what do you have? Now, people will be like, God, I got godly trust those thoughts you receive. Where do you think your thoughts come from? I keep saying this in every video because I really want somebody to answer that. Where do you think your thoughts come from? Why do you think you have them? Why do you have emotions? Why ask a question? We 100% get the answer every time. It's just we don't want to hear it. We don't want to listen because normally when we're asking a question, you answer to that. And there's a difference between being insecure and being. The two actually are on a very fine line with one another because insecurities are intuition. Then none of this shit is gonna. You're always gonna find a reason or an excuse, not a reason, an excuse to why shit doesn't go the way you want it or why your life is in the way that it is. If you are not open to building trust within yourself. And a lot of us don't trust ourselves because we've been allowing other people to tell us how to live. We've been allowing other people to tell us where to go, what to do if we have an issue, rather than focusing on solution finding. These schools, when you go to these schools, I learned shit in school that I couldn't learn. You know what I mean? Like, we learn science, we learn English, we learn math, we learn history, all this other shit, but we never learn how to be emotions. If you're an emotional child at school, you don't get sat down with and talked to, you get suspended or you get sent home. Like, nobody deals as if it's a negative or a bad thing. Confrontation means to confront a person, or maybe it's because you be lying, maybe because you're not honest, or maybe it's because of the things that you eat or the things that you consume, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Maybe it's because of that. You'll brush that shit off and be like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Key sign of a person that don't listen. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Well, don't be mad when you get what you get, because we're constantly asking ourselves these questions. And when you pray, you're talking to yourself. When you meditate, you're talking to yourself. When you close your eyes and you wish for something, you're talking to yourself. Everything that you say emanates from within you. Everything that's in this world that is physical was inside of somebody's mind. All these creations was a play. You created this. You materialized it. You manifested it in your mind and you materialized it out into the world. But we like to ignore these things because we treat everything as if it's separate. Everything as if it's a different. Yes, everything is unique, and we separate things for the sake of labeling, for the sake of recognizing what it is. But would you be able to recognize any of this shit? Would you know what it is? Would you know what it was for if it didn't have a label? If it didn't have a instructions, so to speak? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no, because people don't listen. Now, when it comes to building trust with yourself, you have to actually listen to yourself. And learning to listen to yourself can be a challenge if you are insecure about your own thoughts, if you think that you're not capable of doing something, if you think that you are not valuable, if you think that you don't know how to do something, rather than actually doing it. And I'm in the day and age of there are no excuses. There are absolutely no excuses to why you can't do anything that you need to do for yourself, including listening. Listening just requires you to shut the fuck up, verbally, emotionally, and mentally, and actually hear what's going on. What are the quality of your thoughts? Do you feel drained after thinking all the thoughts you just thought? Do you feel drained after feeling all the emotions you just felt? 9 times out of 10, it's because you're not dealing with them. We mask our emotions. We mask our thoughts because it provokes these feelings within us. It makes us move. You can feel the energy shifting in your body anytime you're surfacing, or if you're having heavy emotions, your body feels that. You feel tense, you feel irritable, you feel more aggravated, versus when you're having happy thoughts and good thoughts. You feel relaxed, you feel calm, or you feel excited and you feel joyous. Pay attention to your body. It's the simple things that can help you become a better listener. Learn about yourself. We spend all our money, our time paying for school. It don't teach you shit about yourself. Well, it actually does. But on the grand scheme of things, the way you're focusing on it and your perception of how you got to get this degree. What are you investing into yourself? Because all this material shit don't mean nothing. All this material, look at now. Look at the government shutdown. So many people are out of jobs or out of money. They can't pay their bills and they can't do that. Now, what do you have? You have these degrees and they don't mean shit. What do you have? You panicking. You don't know what to do. You stressing yourself out. You making yourself ill. You probably, a lot of people probably even going to the extreme measures to make sure that they gonna be all right. But what do you really have now? Now, if you listen, you don't have to worry about shit. If you listen, we focus constantly on that bullshit and then complain about the the seeds that have grown from what we fertilized it with. All is bitter or non-nourishment. Now you everything you need to know. This is where understanding comes in. But in order to understand something, you keep getting these vaccinations for the same motherfucking thing. But you keep having the same motherfucking problem. How are you having the same issue over and over and over when you're supposed to be going to a place with people full of this knowledge that are supposed to be helping you? And it don't have shit to do with the doctors. They have everything to do with you because you're not listening. If you keep walking into a house and the door ram low and you hit your head every time, or after the second time, shit, after the first time, you're gonna be like, goddamn, I need to duck, right? But we don't do that. We'll keep going back to this motherfucker. We keep giving people our money that we know are not doing anything for us. This is because we like to negate our own responsibilities. We like to accept the fact rather than being accountable for our actions, being accountable for our thoughts, being accountable for our emotions, being accountable for the shit that we nourish ourselves with, that we take into our body, media, music, visual shit, whatever, art, whatever, if that's what people want to call it, food choices, energy, the endless. You'll fuck with that same person 100 times, even though you know they don't mean you well, even though you know they not shit. This includes family members. We give our family members all this slack. Like, no, I don't give a fuck. If you blood, then you should be respecting yourself enough to respect me. We continuously negate all of the signs that we get, even when it comes to partners. We allow a person to drag us through the mud and then blame that person for how we feel. Like, no, when the motherfucker first grabs you by your shirt and started dragging you, you should have been like, whoa, let's stop here, because that means that you were listening. But a lot of times we don't want to listen because we want to push forth what we want to happen. And those wants, if anybody that knows me that's watching this knows that wants are what gets you fucked up. Because you want something so much, you ignore everything else that really matters around you, because you want to be in a relationship, because you want to be well, because you want to be happy, because you want to be successful. You ignore all the things that are actually coming in to make you well, to make you happy, to make you successful, to cultivate a good relationship. And then, like, this goes so deep because we don't listen to ourselves and we don't trust ourselves. We allow all sorts of energy into our lives, and then we blame the energy for why it's happening rather than being accountable for the whole reason the energy came in the first place. What are we really learning, and what are we really doing? As I was saying about the doctor, why keep going back to the same place when you know for a fact that nothing is changing? And then somebody could come along in your life and be like, hey, let me help you out, I can show you some things. You'll be like, oh, I ain't trying to hear that shit, that's too much work. Like, it's too much work. It's too much work. So basically what you're saying is, I know that I need to do this, but I don't want to because it's too much work. But then to go to a job that you hate, then to go stand in line for thousands of hours to buy some shoes or to buy some electronics, or go to a Black Friday sale and have to fight through hundreds and thousands of people for some material ass shit that you ain't gonna even be interested in 2 weeks from now. Like, these are all things. Hello, I see somebody in here, but I can't see who it is. So shoot me a message. How do you even see that? I don't know. At any rate, these things are all the things that keep people stuck where they are. And they happen for a very good reason. If you are not listening to yourself, then you get what you get. And you need to be right exactly where you are. You need to be feeling that struggle. You need to be feeling that pain. You need to be getting cheated on. You need to be getting whooped. You need to be getting all of these things because you're lacking the ability to actually listen to yourself. So we're talking about understanding, gaining understanding. If you understood how your body worked, you wouldn't really have to go to the doctor because you would understand, especially when it comes to perceived illnesses. A lot of illnesses that you have, those originate from habits, thought patterns, and emotional patterns. It's not some shit you catch. This ain't no game. You don't catch colds. These things develop inside of your body. The flu, these things develop inside of your body. And based off of your immunity. Now let's talk about immunity for a second. What it means to be immune is that you're not affected by certain pathogens or certain viruses or certain bacteria. Your body is full of bacteria. But if you don't know that, none of that shit's gonna make sense to you. Your body is full of bacteria, it's full of parasites, it's full of all of these things, all in which work in conjunction to your body. They respond to your body, they respond to your frequencies. Everybody has their own set of parasites, everybody has their own set of bacteria, and it all works in conjunction. That's why you have people be like, I need some probiotics. Like, why? You don't even know what the fuck you need a probiotic for. You don't even know what the fuck a probiotic is. And you'll just take this shit because somebody said that you should, rather than actually doing the research to understand why. How, what is it? Where do the probiotics go in your body? And this is just a metaphor for anything that we have. Like I said, people want to buy the fruits, people want to eat the fruits, but don't want to understand how the tree grows. If you understood, like let's talk about eating food. People don't listen to their bodies, one, because their bodies crave the things that they need instead of eating the things that are healthful for them. They don't really know what healthful means. We are taught that, oh, you got to eat fruits and vegetables because it's good for you. Good for you? Why? What does it do? What does it actually do for your body? Why are there even fruits and vegetables? Why are we just not eating some made up random shit? That's a good question. If you listen to your body will tell you. What does your body do for you? People don't even know what their body does for them. They just wake up and be like, oh, I'm woke, and they go about their day. They don't understand how their body grows, why their body grows in the manner that it does, what it requires for their body to function. And because we don't want to understand these things because it's too much work, well, then we leave our lives in the hands of other people that don't really give a fuck. And then we complain about the quality of our life. We complain about how we feel. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of being blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got to pay for this medicine. I'm tired of paying for this medicine. It costs too much. Like, well, what you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to allow somebody else to dictate your life and rule? Or are you going to listen to your body? And so I always encourage people to learn about how your body works. You don't have to go to school for this shit. You don't have to do no extensive ass research unless you want to. However, if you learn the basics of your body, you can type in Google right now, the digestive system, and learn about how your digestive system works. It will give you a deeper understanding of why you need to eat and why you need to eat certain things. People think they need to eat because they're hungry. Like, well, why are you hungry? What do you think hungry means? Like, learning to understand how shit works and why it does what it does gives you deeper insight into your life. It gives you deeper insight into yourself. We want to learn about everything on the outside of us, but neglect that everything that's out here was first inside of somebody, including nature. Where the fuck did this come from? It was inside of something. So everything that we want to learn about, we need to be turning it inwards, especially at a time like now. A lot of people are stressed, like I said, are stressing themselves out because of the shit that's happening in the world. And because they don't listen and because they haven't cultivated that relationship with themselves, they feel like they're suffering. They feel like shit's gonna hit the fan. They feel like they gonna be not knowing what to do. Like life is going to get worse and terrible. And that is what's going to happen because that's the type of energy that they're cultivating because they're not listening. And through all this time, there's always little bitty signs that let you know what you need to do, where you need to go. But again, if you have not cultivated that relationship of respecting yourself, and respecting yourself by giving yourself the fucking decency and the honor of accepting the thoughts that you have, accepting the emotions that you have. Why do you feel a certain way about someone? It doesn't mean that that person is on bullshit. Just because they are on bullshit, that doesn't mean that. But why do you feel any type of way about them being on any type of bullshit? That don't have nothing to do with you. If it's pulling certain things out of you, what are you doing that's on bullshit? Are you continuing to fuck with this person? That's some bullshit because you know they on some bullshit, but you have expectations of it. Expectations are illusions. Expectations do not exist. That's some shit you hope will happen or that you want to happen. It's not what's going to actually happen. Most times, sometimes you life meets your expectations, but more than often, life exceeds your expectations because what you think is going to happen is not always what's going to happen. But this also has to do with listening because listening has a lot to do with being present, seeing what is there, seeing what is current. Because you are trying to focus on what you want to happen and your expectations about a situation, you never give yourself an opportunity to actually see the information that's right in front of you, that's telling you every single thing that you need to know about whatever it is you're focusing on. And this is the other thing. You don't have to know shit, really. You just have to be willing to listen and willing to embrace and willing to understand. If I didn't know about my body, but I keep having a stomach ache, I'm gonna ask myself, why do I keep having a stomach ache? Or why do I keep getting this migraine? And then I'm gonna be the fuck quiet and listen. And I don't just mean quiet by stop talking. I mean quiet in the mind, quiet in your emotions, not trying to figure out everything and trying to find every single thing that you can to stop what's happening, but to understand it. When did your migraine start? When did your stomach ache start? Is it recurring? And when does it recur? Do it just come on? What were you thinking before it happened? What were you feeling before it happened, before it started? These are the things that we have to pay attention to, and they're so small and we dismiss them all the time. It will tell you exactly what you need to know. Whatever ailment that you have, disease, illness that you have, you can find out exactly what the fuck is wrong with you by asking yourself and listening. But you have to cultivate the relationship of listening with yourself first. You have to cultivate the relationship of understanding with yourself first. You have to be able to be quiet mentally, emotionally, and physically. You have to be able to be open. You have to be open to hearing the things, not just the shit that you want to hear. You have to move that shit out the way. Want, erase that shit from your vocabulary. Needs will always be met. They may not be met in the caliber in which you want them, right? Okay, because you want them to be a certain way. Fuck that. Don't nobody care what you want. Do you have what you need though? We focus on the quality of bullshit and we compare that to, this fake shit out in the world. And we compare that to when we get some authentic love, when we get some authentic trust, when we get some authentic blessings, answers, whatever the fuck. We don't accept them the way that they are because we don't accept ourselves the way we are. This also has to do with listening. Listening is not just something you do with your ears. It's something you do with your spirit. If you don't accept the way you are, everything that is you in this world, you're not going to accept it. If you don't like how you look, everything that looks like you on an energetic vibration, on a physical vibration, you're not going to accept it. You're going to be like, I don't want that. I don't want to look at that. Anything that reminds you of yourself and the aspects of yourself that you don't like, even if those are the things that you need, you're automatically going to reject them because you automatically reject yourself. You don't give yourself time and space to be, to breathe, to accept, to embrace. We are constantly comparing ourselves to somebody. If you're comparing yourself to somebody, then you're not listening. Even the act of you comparing yourself requires you to listen, because why are you comparing yourself? Ask yourself these things. You need to trust yourself. You need to listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. It don't matter if you feel like you're unsure, feel that way. But trust whatever it is that you're feeling. Your spirit will never lead you in the wrong direction. And this goes back to insecurities. You have to understand yourself in order to understand what's an insecurity and what's intuition. But like I said, those two are almost synonymous, or damn, they are synonymous, because your insecurities are intuition showing you where you are not listening. When you're insecure about something, it's because of something you think. It's because of something you want. It's not because of what is. Because if you accepted what is, you would have no reason to be insecure. People are insecure about the way they look because you think you should look like something else, because you want to look like someone else. People are insecure about their ability to do any fucking thing, whether it's be a good mom, whether it's be a good dad, whether it's be a great partner in a relationship, because of how you feel about yourself, because you're not listening. You're comparing yourself. You're wanting to be somewhere else, but never ever giving yourself a chance to be like, okay, this is me. Everything that you experience is not random. Everything that you experience is not for no reason. Every single thing is divine here. Every single thing happens in divine timing. Every single thing has a divine purpose or reason. You can use whatever fuck words you want for it, but everything here is for a reason. The way you feel is for a reason. It tells you everything you need to know about yourself in that given moment, what you need more of, what you need less of. But if you don't listen, you ain't gonna know that shit. And there is, and this is the other thing. I always say, you know every single goddamn thing you need to know. You know, I'm not talking about when the Beyonce tickets come out. We ain't talking about no shit like that. I'm talking about anything that has to do with you, your being in this realm of existence. You know. You know when you meet a person that's on bullshit. You just know it. You don't gotta know why, what type of bullshit they on, or how deep the bullshit is. That doesn't matter. The fact is that your body told you that they on that bullshit because you got that feeling. The first thing that popped in your head, you was like, mm-mm. But like I said, we brush that shit off. You know when you're doing something that's fucked up based off of how you feel and based off of the thoughts that you have. A lot of times people are like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. Like, for instance, we'll use an example. People in their cell phones and their relationships. People be hiding their phones, they little dirty business on their phones, right? But if you are doing something and you trying to sneak and do it, like, let me do this, and you looking over your shoulder because you think a motherfucker finna walk in the room, you know you want some bullshit. So don't be mad when somebody calls you on it, because that's somebody that's calling you on your bullshit. That's not them. That's you. That's your spirit saying, hey, you keep asking me for happiness. You keep saying I want to be successful. You keep saying I want to be abundant. You keep saying I want to be real. I want to be dope. I want to be all of these things. But you on bullshit. That's listening. Listening when somebody come to you in a certain way, it don't matter what way it is. If somebody come to you fucked up, you need to listen to that. It's not just about them. It's about you, because everybody you meet is your reflection. But if you don't listen, you're not going to know that shit. You're not going to understand it. And like I said, even when you say you don't know something, you always know. Like when you ask a little kid, why you hit Bobby in the nose? You be like, I don't know. You know why the fuck you hit Bobby in the nose. He did something that you ain't like. Be honest. We don't be honest with ourselves. Honesty is about listening. If you're not honest with yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're not listening. And if you're not listening, you're not going to be happy with what's going on in your life. You're not going to be satisfied with what's going on in your life. You're not going to be thrilled about any of this shit. You're just going to be complaining. A key sign of a motherfucker that don't listen is complaining. If you're constantly complaining, that means you're not listening. And not just to outside. You're not listening to yourself. Because every time you complain, self be like, bruh, I just told your ass what the problem was. I just told you you gotta let this person go. I just told you you need to find a new job. I just told you you need to do better. You need to eat better. But you keep on complaining. You keep on bringing this shit around. And your words are power. Your words are magnetic. They're electric. So each time you speak something, it creates an energy into the world. And in the first, even before you speak it, when you think it, it's done. When you think something, it's manifest because you are feeling it and seeing it and hearing it in your mind at the same time. So it's already manifest. When you speak it, it materializes into the world. We know this to be true because if we speak something to somebody, if we speak some bullshit to somebody, what's their reaction? There you have it. If you speak some life into somebody, what's their reaction? And this goes both ways. People who are not listening and who are focusing on these negatively perceived thoughts, you can speak life into them and they can respond in what appears to be a negative way. But it's not negative. What you're doing is pulling that bullshit out of their body, out of their mind. And because they're holding on so tight to it, it causes them to have this reaction. But if you don't listen, you'll get mad at the response that they have. If you don't listen, you'll end up fighting with a motherfucker. If you don't listen, you'll end up arguing with a motherfucker. If you're arguing, period, you're not listening to shit. You're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to the energy of the situation, and you're not listening to the other person. Nobody can listen when they're arguing. If you are out here beefing with a motherfucker, you not listening to shit. If you on the internet airing your business, fighting with motherfuckers over the internet, you not listening. If you always worried about what somebody else is doing, why they doing it, how they doing it, you not listening. If you always pointing out the bullshit that somebody else doing, you not listening. And if you always pointing out the bullshit that somebody else is doing, 9 times out of 10, you doing the same exact goddamn thing. Exact goddamn thing. But just on a different level, on a different frequency. Same shit, different toilet, right? So I think I'm gonna cut this off for now. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. I'll just leave it with this. How can you become a better listener? You can become a better listener by listening to yourself. Listening to your body, simple things. Rest when you feel tired. Obviously, if people have jobs to go to, there are certain things that you cannot do while you are at job. However, when you leave job, that should be your first priority. So if you're tired, rest. By resting when you're tired, you're telling your body, I hear you. You're telling your body, I feel you and I understand. This goes so much deeper than you just telling your body that. Because when you're resting your body, when you're listening to anything that your body has asked you, when you're hungry, eat something good. Don't just eat to be eaten. Your body don't just want to eat some cardboard. Your body just don't want to eat no bullshit. It wants actual nutrients so it can replace all the motherfucking vitamins and minerals and acids and fats and shit your body done been burning by focusing on bullshit or just by being in everyday life. Eat something nourishing for your body. If you don't know what something nourishing is for your body, ask a motherfucker. It's 7,000 people out here that help with health and wellness, myself included. There's 7,000 people out here. It's so much shit. You have the internet. So I don't ever want to hear nobody else from this point on be like, I can't or I don't know. Like, use the fucking internet. Y'all will use the internet and ask people for some bullshit. Search up some drama, search up some ratchet, search up some violence or negativity and pass and share that shit around. But won't fucking search where do migraines originate from? Won't fucking search what types of foods should my body be consuming for optimal nutrition? Like, why? Why? You have everything at your fingertips, literally. Even your fingertips tell you everything you need to know about yourself. But if you don't have the understanding of how your body works, how any of this shit works, it's not gonna make no fucking sense to you. It's not gonna appeal to you. And sometimes the things that don't appeal to you are because they don't need to. You need to interest yourself in them because those are yourself. All the things that you try to basically brush off are the reflections of the things in yourself that you also brush off. So if you want to be a better listener, listen to yourself. Rest when you're tired. Sleep when you need to go to sleep. If you notice that your body cannot do something without a particular substance, you're not listening. You're negating your body's abilities and you're actually deadening your senses to what your body should be naturally doing for you. And if you need assistance with that, you need to get some because it don't seem like shit is wrong to you now, but later on down the line, that problem is going to be way deeper and it's going to be affecting all the areas of your life. Where do you mask? Look at all the things that you're doing right now and ask yourself, am I doing this out of fear? Am I doing this out of being insecure or feeling insecure? And if so, if the answer is yes to those things, and you have to be honest, because none of this shit works without honesty. You can lie to everybody else. You can't lie to yourself. You could try. You can say things, but you can't lie to yourself because you always know exactly what it is that's going on and how to fix it. It's just a matter of gaining understanding. The more you understand about something, the deeper you can get into it. Be a better listener. Listen to your body. Learn about your body. Listen to the wind. Listen to the rain. Listen to the trees. Listen to the birds. Listen to whatever the fuck is around you. It's always telling you everything you need to know about yourself. All the things that you are put off from that seem like they're too much work, those are all the things that you're put off from within yourself. And all the things that you don't want to work on within yourself. So I said I was going to get off, so I'm going to get off. So thank you and have a great day.